You know how sometimes you see a news headline, maybe about football, and you just get that feeling that there's way more going on beneath the
Oh,
surface.
absolutely. The real story is often in the details, not the big splashy news.
Exactly. Well, today we're doing one of our deep dives into precisely that. We're looking at some subtle, but I think really significant shifts happening behind the scenes in the AFC.
Right. We're going to focus on the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans today.
Yeah, pulling back the curtain a bit. Our mission really is to unpack some recent AFC notes, get into the nitty-gritty on key players, team dynamics.
And we're drawing from a Yard Barker piece, which originally came from NFLTradeRumors.co to, get past just the surface level stuff.
That's the plan. So what you can expect is a closer look at how new coaching staff changes are maybe quietly shaping team culture.
And how young talent gets developed early on that crucial phase.
And also how veteran leaders step up, how their roles evolve. Should be some aha moments,
Yeah.
hopefully, about what really makes these teams tick.
Yeah, especially with the unique stuff happening in Jacksonville and Tennessee.
Okay, so let's jump right in with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are, right now, putting in a completely new defensive scheme.
Which is a massive deal in the NFL. It's not just learning new plays.
No, it's like trying to rewire your brain while running full speed, right?
Mm,
Imagine doing that at your job takes serious focus.
totally. And it's being led by the new head coach, Liam Cohen, and the defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanile. Big changes.
And this is where leadership from within becomes so critical, isn't it?
Absolutely. And that's where veteran linebacker Foye Oluokun comes in. Coach Cohen had some really high praise for him, called him the pros
The
bro.
pros pro, wow.
Hmm.
What specifically did Cohen highlight?
Well, he pointed out that Oluokun's always early for meetings, sits down, ready to go, engaged, and he communicates at a really high level.
Okay.
Cohen said he wants to understand the intent, the why behind every call, and he asks phenomenal questions, especially when the whole defense is there.
That's fascinating. It's not just about knowing the X's and O's, but understanding the philosophy. That speaks volumes about leadership, doesn't it?
It really does. It shows how vital that kind of veteran presence is, especially when you're overhauling something as complex as an NFL defense.
Yeah, it models that intellectual curiosity for the younger guys.
Yeah.
You know, you watch these pros, and it looks so smooth on Sunday, but you forget the grind behind it. The film study, the meetings, asking those maybe dumb questions early on.
Exactly. Olokun basically creates a safe space for others to ask questions to really grapple with the new stuff without feeling, inadequate.
Right.
That kind of open discussion is key for getting everyone on the same page with a complex system. It builds that foundation.
So while you have veterans like Olkin leading the charge mentally, the Jags are also looking at some explosive young talent. Let's talk about Brian Thomas.
Ah, yeah. The potential breakout star. Every team hopes they have one.
And it sounds like the Jags might really have something here. I mean, you've got both a veteran corner and the coach singing his praises.
That's right. Jordan Lewis, the veteran CB, had some pretty strong words. He called Thomas smooth
Okay.
and noted that for a big guy, he gets in and out of his breaks really quickly. Lewis even said, and this is quite a statement, I think he's one of the top guys that I've ever guarded, honestly.
Wow. From a guy like Lewis.
Exactly. And he added, and I feel like he can get better. He's a very young guy. I feel like sky's the limit for him.
High praise indeed. And Coach Cohen echoed that.
He did. During OTAs, Cohen said, Thomas has got those freakish talents, man. He's got some freakish traits.
Freakish traits, you hear that a lot, but what else did Cohen see?
Well, he balanced that with praising his attention to detail in the meeting room setting.
Yeah.
Said he answers questions well, his personality is coming out.
So not just raw talent. He's putting in the work mentally, too.
Precisely. Cohen saw an uptick when things got competitive. And he admired his versatility for a big dude like him to be able to operate in the slot, run some of the choice and option routes, but also be able to go vertical.
That is unusual for a bigger receiver, isn't it? Being effective in the slot.
It's incredibly valuable. It creates mismatch nightmares for defenses. You put a smaller corner on him, he outmuscles them. Put a linebacker on him, he's too quick. It opens up so much.
Makes sense.
And Cohen finished by saying, he's been a real pleasure to work with.
So this raises that point you touched on, having freakish traits and attention to detail. What does that combination really signal?
It signals that rare blend, you know? The raw athletic gifts combined with the intellectual engagement, the willingness to learn the nuances, that's the coach's dream, really.
Yeah,
It's why they see him potentially becoming one of the league's best so fast. It's not just the physical stuff, it's how he applies it, how he thinks the game.
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That combination is often what separates the good players from the elite ones. Okay, so we've seen internal leadership and rising talent with the Jags. Let's shift gears a bit to the Tennessee Titans.
Right. Transitions aren't just about new systems. Sometimes it's about how teams adapt when key players leave.
Exactly. And that seems to be the story with defensive end Ardan Key. He's stepping into a bigger role, it sounds like.
He is, now in his 8th year, 3rd with the Titans. And the coaching staff is noticing a change.
What are they saying?
Titans DC Denard Wilson said Key is really taking on a leadership role, maturing both on and off the field. Wilson actually said, I love where he is at right now.
Okay, strong words.
Yeah, he is one of the first guys that is teaching the young guys how to be better, what to do, the tricks of the trade. And get this, things he's messed up throughout his career.
Oh, wow. Sharing the mistakes, too. That's not something you always hear.
No, it's not. And that vulnerability, that honesty, it probably makes him a much more effective mentor, right? It shows real maturity.
Definitely. It builds trust.
Hmm.
Makes him more relatable than someone who only talks about successes. It's like he's saying, look, I've been there, I've stumbled, here's how to avoid that.
Exactly. It creates that psychological safety for the younger guys. It signals that messing up is part of the process as long as you learn from it.
And did other coaches echo that?
Yeah, the OLB's coach, Ben Bloom, reinforced it. Mentioned how Key is specifically helping the younger guys, like the second-round pick Oluwafemi Oladeo.
Yeah.
Bloom said Key has a lot of knowledge about rushing the passer, using his hands, specific moves, and he does a nice job of sharing that and showing leadership. Sounds like he's really embraced being that veteran presence.
So it seems like Key is becoming a true mentor in that room.
It seems so. And Key himself acknowledged it, especially after Harold Landry left for the Patriots.
Ah, okay. So there was a clear void to fill.
Right. Key said, basically, Harold is not here, but we have to move on. We have to make sure the room is right. He mentioned having lots of rookies, needing to fix technique, get them up to speed with the NFL game.
Taking ownership?
Completely. But he also praised the young guys, called them energetic, hungry, said they know they have to help us. Sounds like a good dynamic developing there, largely thanks to Key stepping up.
That's fantastic to hear. It really underlines how leadership evolves and how crucial it is, especially during transitions. So, wrapping things up today, we've really dug into some key behind-the-scenes stuff in the AFC, haven't we?
Yeah, from the Jaguars installing that complex new defense, Olukun leading the learning process.
Right, and the huge potential they see in Brian Thomas, that blend of physical gifts and mental focus.
And then shifting to the Titans, seeing Ardan Key really step into that veteran leadership role, mentoring the younger guys, sharing his whole journey.
It gives you, the listener, a much richer picture, I think, understanding how players adapt, how
Right.
talent is actually nurtured day to day, how veterans fill those leadership gaps.
It's way more than just what happens on Sundays, isn't it? It's the constant learning, the relationships, the culture being built Monday through Saturday.
Absolutely. Which leads to maybe a final thought for everyone listening.
Mhm.
We know the NFL season is a grind, a real marathon. So considering these early signs of Jags focusing on system integration and talent development, the Titans cultivating new leadership, how much weight do you put on these kinds of elements for a team's overall resilience? You know, when they inevitably hit rough patches, face injuries, tough losses later in the season.
That's a great question. How much does this foundational work, this leadership and development we're seeing now, actually buffer them against adversity down the road?
Yeah, something to definitely keep an eye on as the season unfolds.